Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and salam sejahtera. Welcome to the Higher Education Expo 2024 webinar session. With me today is Yang Mulia Mr. Andrew Law, Senior Associate Director Office of Admission and Financial Assistance from Singapore Management University, who will be presenting a topic on unlocking opportunities, a guide to undergraduate and postgraduate studies at Singapore Management University. Without further ado, I invite you to start your presentation.
Thank you. So good afternoon. My name is Andrew. Yes, I'm from the Office of the Admission and Financial Assistance at SMU, right? So we are the office that look after the undergrad as well as the postgraduate programs. So students who are coming in from international, they are able to send in inquiries, and we will take it from there, right? So something about SMU. Singapore Management University was established in the year 2000 as the third public university in Singapore, right? So what we do is we are a very specialized university, focused very much, make sure that our graduates are actually, when they graduate, will be in demand, right? So for us at SMU, we do things a little bit differently from the comprehensive universities. Comprehensive universities, they may adopt the traditional approach. Right? Sometimes they would have big lecture theaters, but at SMU, we don't have lecture theaters. I will show you some of the pictures later on of our seminar rooms and the concept and the pedagogy that we use in our daily teaching and the learning style that at SMU, right? So again, some people will be asking why Singapore, and why not in the rest of the world, right? So there are many reasons why you want to study in Singapore. Many reasons. But to me, I think there are maybe four main reasons that maybe a Bruneian can consider. Yeah, of course. The first reason, proximity. It's only take 2 hours away, right? So it's very near to home. Singapore, we have abundance of job opportunity. So our students at SMU, last year's statistics, we have 95.1% who got a job at least 6 months before they graduate. So it's actually a very important statistics to know, because as a graduate, either from the bachelor program or postgraduate program, we want to make sure that the students are highly in demand, right? So SMU students are definitely high in demand. The other thing that we are strong with or strong for in Singapore is our strong economy, right? So there is abundance of opportunities for students to develop, right? So that's one of the two of the reasons. The third reasons I can see would be the quality of life in Singapore. I mean, we are one of the top cities to live in terms of the quality of life, right? Very fast network, very good infrastructure. So these are something that you can look at when you consider doing a further education. And then another reasons that you can consider and why Singapore is so attractive to some of the students is because of the fact that, in Singapore, it's smaller. There's a smaller area for you to navigate. And it actually is a very important thing because, time is of essence. So anywhere you travel, you are able to do your business easily. Right? So these are things that is very important, right? Of course, the safety aspect. The safety aspect in Singapore, we are one of the safest country in the world, right? Because as safe as any cities that you aspire to go to, or even more safer, right? So these are some of the very important reasons to explore, right? So there are many parents who think that, okay, I would like to send them over to a place to not just got an education, but they need to be safe. So in Singapore and at SMU, I mean, our students are able to walk along the street 3 o'clock in the morning, and there's nothing will happen to them, right? So that's about it. For SMU, where are we? We are actually located in the heart of the city, right? In the CBD area, Central Business District area. So one thing about us is we work very closely with our industry partners. So much that, many of them are in fact sitting in the board of advisors of the various faculties, driving to us the new type of things that is developing in the industry. So that's why when we develop a new major or introduce a new degree program, we work with the industry partners to make sure all these majors and the degree programs are what they are looking for, right? So later on, I'll go into more into details of some of the degree programs, and in fact, the postgraduate program that we have freshly introduced to the students, right? So at the CBD area, one thing about us is that we are so well connected. If you've been to Singapore, we have a very good MRT network, right? So underneath our campus, just below our campus, there are two MRT stations. One is the Bras Basah MRT station, and the other one is the Bencoolen downtown line. So two separate lines where you can connect to any part of the Singapore within 40 minutes maximum, right? We are surrounded by very important facilities. We have the museums, the theaters, the galleries, and of course, if you look into this picture, we are just one stop away from where the action is, right? The downtown financial district, right? So our students are required to do an internship, at least one internship before they graduate. So when we are looking at that, this is an important location because when you do internship, you want to save your time by traveling. And SMU is just mainly a walking distance away from any of the major MNCs, or maybe one or two stops away to the financial district, right? So this is a very good advantage that we have for our students coming from SMU, right? So internship is compulsory at SMU, and because of that, the proximity to the companies around us, that's a very good focal point. So who are we? So we are actually a specialized university. So what is a specialized university? Means that we focus on certain areas only, right? So management, technology, the law, the social sciences, which include things like business, accountancy, which is under the social science so-called spectrum, right? So why we are known as Singapore Management University is because of the fact that students, regardless of what degree program they are doing, a technology program, a law student, or students doing sociology, psychology, information system, computer science, all our students are exposed to management modules, right? So we want them not just be a good employee, but we want them to be the future leaders of the corporate world. So that's what we are. So you can see we have a few specialized programs. We have the law, economics, social science. We have the computing and information system, the accountancy, the business, where under the business we have 20 over majors for you to choose on. And then recently we have launched a new college or new school called the College of Integrative Studies, where we allow students to customize their own degree program. Because in these days and age, some students are so savvy that they may not be wanting to do the same old business program. So what they want is they want to customize what they are going to learn, what they're going to be specializing in, right? So the College of Integrative Studies, I'll explain to you later on, will be the one that allows students to choose and customize their own discipline, right? So again, when we work with, all this, when we introduce things, we introduce it together with our industry partners. So SMU, we introduce a few things. One of it is we are the actually can consider as the only university in the world that introduced an interdisciplinary degree in computing and law. So what it is about, so it's a single program, it's a single degree program that consists of computing and law. So knowing about technology, knowing about the legal framework, and with such graduate, they are able to work in either the legal firms or in the computing industry, right? So that's now right now as we speak, there is a lack of graduates in this area. So students coming out from this computing and law, I can assure you, there will be lots of demand for you, right? We are the only universities, perhaps in Asia, that offers politics, law, and economics, right? We have, and as well as the integrative studies, right? So these are things that we are in the forefront of the business, where we want to make sure our students, when they graduate, that's the thing. Employment is the outcome. The high employment, high salary is a outcome of our SMU student, right? The other thing that we do, and we work again when we talk to the industry partners, is that they value students who are able to understand what's happening outside, right? So at SMU, we make it compulsory that you need to have a global experience, right? So to step out of Singapore. So you may be an international student already coming into Singapore. That's not enough. We want you to go out of Singapore, do an exchange, do a study mission, or do a global immersive program, or even do a international competition, so that when you come back, these are things that you can talk when you go for an interview. These are important things that is going to be differentiating us, the SMU students, against the other students of the other universities, right? So these are what we have at SMU. So again, there is always a question from parents, from students. What makes SMU student different? What makes the university different from the rest or the other universities we have, right? So one thing about us, there are three things that is compulsory at SMU: guarantee global experience. That means you need to step out of Singapore, step out of SMU to another part of the world to gain that. So it's a compulsory element, right? So we would want to make sure that you gain that valuable experience. At SMU is 100% small class size. We do not have lecture theaters, right? So this is important aspect, because this and age, we are not into the lecturing area where, you are just sitting there as a good listener, taking good notes, right? So that's not what we want. As a good graduate, as somebody who are learning, right? So we want you to be participating in the classes, right? So 100% small class size with real participation and real communication and doing project as well as presentation. So every day while at SMU, you are exhibiting and practicing such area of soft skills. At SMU, we guarantee a second major. So any degree program that you are doing, we allow you to do a second major, not just within the school of that program, but with our other schools within SMU. So take, for example, you can do a law degree with a second major in economics, right? Or with a second major in accounting. So we allow you to do that. And or you can choose based on your second major. Usually people would choose it based on their interests, right? So we allow that flexibility for you to do that. But then SMU, the other thing that we are noted for is our high employment rate, because of the fact that our students get to do real life internship that's related to their programs, internship that allows them to secure jobs before they graduate. So internship at SMU is compulsory. Before you graduate, you need to fulfill at least 10 weeks of internship. Typically, our students would do at least 2 to 5 internship before they graduate. Why? Because they like to secure the best job that is available for them, right? And of course, community service is one of that prerequisite as well. You need to fulfill this before you can graduate. So community service is a portion where we allow people to understand what's happening outside and how they can help them, right? Help the people, right? So you can do a community service in Singapore, or we allow you to do it overseas, right? So we have the community service in overseas, where there's a lot of projects available. Students would gather every year and do a community service project in India, in Nepal, in China, for example. Right? The other thing that is very important and something that you can consider is at SMU, we have a very strong career support services. Right? We have the career center where students, be it undergrad or postgrad, would be paired with a career coach, somebody who understands the industry these students aspire to go to, right? So things are like this, in a way, what you notice from our message here, we want to make sure our students not just get a good education at SMU, a good world-class degree is not enough. We just want them to not just graduate, but just have that career support so that, when they start working, they are able to clinch the best companies, best jobs available, right? So we have a very dedicated career support service. We have a good, strong lineup of professors in the various discipline, various schools, right? So very nice lineup. So if you can take a look at in our website and take a look at who these professors are. So they are to be the best brain of the world, working in studying, teaching in SMU, right? So I just want to show you a picture of this. This is a typical lecture theater in one of the universities, not in Singapore, but in somewhere else, right? So the issue about having a large lecture theater like this is that, as what Albert Camus is saying, right? The danger of lecture is that they create the illusion of teaching for teachers and the illusion of learning for learners. So in the end, when you are sitting there as a degree student, 4-year, or even a master's student, right? What we need is you need to understand how to conceptualize what you have read, how you apply, rather than to be sitting here passively listening to what the professors are doing or saying. Okay, so these days and age, a picture like this is a very, very old, outdated way of learning, right? So at SMU, we don't have this. So when you come to SMU, you are being assured that at all your classes will be some similar like this, 100% seminar style, right? So people were asking, okay, Andrew, what is seminar style? So a seminar style would be a very direct opposite of a lecturing style, right? Seminar style means to say that before you go to a class, the notes are actually given to you, maybe perhaps a week or two, for you to make some preparation, right? Maybe to read on it, to read on the notes, and then after that, circle on the notes when you come to class. You want to clarify certain points. And during the class, it's the role of the professor to facilitate you to learn in a way of discussion and learning how you apply the concept through the notes that you have read earlier, right? So at SMU, small class size, maximum maybe 40, 45 in each class. A lot of meaningful discussion. Class participation is graded. So every module that every student will go to, there would be a minimum, at least a 10% grade on participation, right? So your full grade 10% would be class participation. Every module, most of the students would have to be doing a certain group project. So group project will come with presentation. So at SMU, you apart from doing the module, you are doing group project, you are presenting. So every day you are practicing, exercising such soft skills. And that's why our students are in high demand, because of the fact that they have that necessary soft skills that the employers are looking for. Right? So professors are very near, in close proximity to you. So every students are able to meet up with the professor for one-to-one consultation. So I'll just run through some of the degree choices at SMU, right? So we have unrestricted degree program, unrestricted options, and there isn't much subject prerequisite. So you can be any an A-level students in Brunei or an IB students, you are able to choose practically any of the degree programs that we are offering, right? So that's almost one of most of the things that you can offer. So for example, a degree in accounting, we are not looking into accounting background. So if you are doing A-level, it's perfectly fine to choose an accounting degree, right? Then we have the business management. We have law program as well, but usually for law, for international students, it will be quite restrictive, right? So students who are looking at law from an international background, perhaps we can offer you something called computing and law, where you can learn about computing and you learn about the legal framework. And that's if you aspire to continue to be a lawyer, we do have the Juris Doctor in law upon your completion of the computing and law program. So the Juris Doctor in law will be allowing you to complete it and then practice as a lawyer, right? We have the social science, we have the politics, law, and economics. We have the economics, of course. So for certain students, especially if you choose economics, earlier I'll say we do not have a lot of subject prerequisite, but for people studying economics, of course, you need to have that strong foundation in mathematics, right? And we have information system. So knowing about 50% about information system technology, and another 50% on business. So how you marry business and information technology. That's basically the degree in information system. And earlier I mentioned about integrative studies, a very, very innovative and new degree programs that we have been offering. Right, so it's going to be this year going to be the second intake. So very nice degree program where you can customize integrative studies, right? And then they will pair you with a faculty mentor, and then you can look into integrative studies as a bachelor degree program and into the coursework, or you can do it into a research, right? And then we have computer science, computing and law, software engineering. So these are some of the degree programs that we have. You can see it's a direct meritorious honors program, because we are adopting the US style of awarding the degree, right? So in US, it goes by the GPA, and for example, a 3.8 and above out of 4, it will be known as summa cum laude, which is in Latin known as of the highest honor, right? So these are usually the grading system that is adopted by the US system. Anything from 3.6 to 3.79, that's known as magna cum laude, of the second or highest honors, something like that, right? So at SMU, direct honors program based on the US system, right? So these are some of the majors that we have in the different schools, right? So it's a little bit small. So you notice that on the left-hand corner, bottom left-hand corner, there's a QR code. So you can just take the QR code and it will lead you directly to our program page in the website. right? So some of the programs that we have been offered recently, for example, under the School of Accountancy, we have this accounting data analytics. We introduce it as a second major under the School of Accounting, the financial forensic as a second major. So these are very interesting courses, interesting second major. And apart from being interesting, right? As I mentioned earlier, we work with the industry partners to introduce such majors. So when the industry partners say this, it means that they are looking for people in that skill, in that aspect. So an accountant with accounting data and analytics skill would be highly in demand in 2 to 3 years' time when you finish your degree program. That's how we're saying, right? So we have the School of Business. You notice there's a few different majors, and some of these majors even lead to very, very deep specializations. And there are many different specializations within the different majors. Finance, for example, there are at least 5 different specializations. There are track in real estate, finance in the real wealth management, finance in banking, for example, all this, right? Then we have the marketing, we have the operation management. So those are under the School of Business. Under the School of Computing and Information System, we have 4 degree programs. We have the, as I mentioned earlier, we have the information system, and then we have the computer science, where people would be developing software and hardware from scratch. That's computer science. But apart from that, as a students coming up from computer science at SMU, again, you are working differently. You are running perhaps maybe a future IT company where you are able to understand all the different stuff on artificial intelligence. So we allow you to go into things like specialization and tracks within computer science as well, right? And of course, we have computing and law, which I mentioned earlier. And then we have the software engineering, where for software engineering, we have the work study option. Right? Right. So then we have the other schools, the School of Economics, the School of Social Science, and then we have the College of Integrative Studies. Right. So I would like to maybe invite you to go to our website and take a look at the various degree program. Right. In the essence of time, I know I have only 1 minute left, so I'll just maybe is there any questions for me before I'll give the last slides. So I know there's some time constraint. So this is my last slide. I would like to open up to the floor and people who are maybe on the way to Singapore the next few weeks. Do enjoy and come to SMU for open house. 24th to 25th Feb, Saturday and Sunday. It's a full day event, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Come by and understand more about SMU. So there's a QR code that leads directly to our website, the open house website, as well as the SMU website. So any questions regarding admission criteria, scholarship, please send us an email. I'll stop sharing now. Thank you.
Thank you for your insightful presentation. There is no questions. Um, Thank you for joining us. See you soon in our next webinar session starting at 3:10 p.m. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yeah.